What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back here with another off-season rebuild. I told you guys that we had 3 teams on the agenda this week. We went ahead and did the Thunder yesterday, and I asked you guys if you want to see the Knicks or the Nuggets first, and you guys, of course, voted for the New York Knicks. Which means tomorrow we will be doing the Nuggets off-season, but today we got to focus on the New York Knicks, who obviously have a very disappointing end to their season. They seemed like the favorite to beat the Pacers in round 2, but injuries just inevitably caught up to them. So let's just go ahead, jump in, and do this New York Knicks off-season rebuild. Before we get in today's video, make sure you guys drop a like in this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. But let me turn to the other monitor here so we can start this rebuild. So let's take a look at the Knicks roster. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Ojeanobi, Mitch Robinson, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein, Bojan Achua. So there's a lot to like here for the New York Knicks. Of course, they've formed this new Villanova connection with Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. And I do have a feeling they're going to pursue one of those other guys that, of course, went to Villanova. It seems very inevitable that Mikal Bridges will be heavily pursued by the New York Knicks. Will the Nets play ball and trade him to the Knicks? I'm not sure. The Knicks have a lot of assets to throw at the Nets, so it seems like a trade that could possibly happen. Imagine OG Mikal Bridges starting forwards. That'd be pretty disgusting, I'm not going to lie. So we'll take a look at it, though, and let's just first start off with staff signing, as we do have Tom Thibodeau, of course, who will be the head coach going forward. I know some people may criticize him because the reason why, that you could say, oh, the reason why the Knicks broke down is because how many minutes Tom Thibodeau had these guys playing. And maybe you're right, but at the end of the day, Tom Thibodeau just has his way of coaching, and it got him to the second round, almost very close to the conference finals. Of course, unfortunately for them, injuries just caught up to them. Brunson, Mitch Robinson, Ojeanobi, Julius Randle. There's just so many injuries on this team, and it just caught up to them eventually. But now that we have the coaching staff completely filled out, I think we're going to go ahead and start in the NBA draft. I believe we have 2 first-round picks in this draft, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're back-to-back. Am I correct on that? Yeah, 24 and 25. We do have an early second and another early second. So we have 4 picks in this draft. We have Julius Randle coming off an injury. I'm not really sure if Randle will be back. I imagine that he'll probably be moved as quickly as they can, but I guess we'll end up, we'll kind of see what happens. You have Bojan's expiring contract as well. So there's definitely a lot to take a look at here, but let's go ahead and start looking at, like I mentioned already, we're probably going to start this video with Mikal Bridges trade. It just seems like the most realistic option for them. Of course, they could go star shopping this offseason, Donovan Mitchell, Zach LaVine, or anything like that. Maybe Devin Booker becomes available somehow. Highly doubt that, obviously. But it just feels like if the Knicks want to keep this, the way they're playing right now, Mikal Bridges would be the perfect fit to add like a really talented player and then still play the way, still play to their play style. So I definitely think that's inevitable, and that's probably where we're going to start things. Today's video is brought to you by DGF's Optimizer. If you're playing on apps such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any other DFS app, having a tool like this is so clutch to finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research whatsoever. Now, of course, there's only like 4 teams left in the NBA, so you're not going to find a ton of NBA value, I imagine, at the moment. It's more baseball. But if you take a look, we do have Andrew Nembhard over 2.5 rebounds. As you can see, why this is a good profitable play, because as you can see, every single book is favoring the over. You even have one book at minus 160, minus 151, which is why, plugging in Andrew Nembhard over 2.5 rebounds would be a very profitable play going forward. And then for a baseball play, you have over 4.5 strikeouts for Joe Musgrove. As you can see, every single team or every single book is favoring the over 4.5. So that's just basically how this works. It just shows you discrepancies and also shows you the juice that books have on a certain play, whether it's going over or under. And of course, I use it on apps such as PrizePicks. PrizePicks, of course, great time to play. If you want to go ahead and give yourself an extra experience during the conference finals, would be a great time to look into PrizePicks. How it works? You choose between 2 to 6 players. They have all kinds of sports outside of just NBA, of course, as well. So if you want to go over Drew Holiday, 12.5 points, and you want to combine it with, I don't know, do you want to combine it with WNBA if you really wanted to, and say you wanted to go Wilson over 24? Like, the possibilities are truly endless on PrizePicks. So make sure you use code Crushables on DGF, 25% on your first month. And make sure you use code Crushables on PrizePicks. They match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Other than that, let's get back to the rebuild. When it comes to trading for Mikal Bridges in a Knicks video, I know I have done it in the past, but let's be honest with ourselves. It feels like the most realistic possibility this offseason for the Knicks, and I definitely think it just still makes a ton of sense to do so. So Mikal Bridges has 2 years left in his deal. And he just seems like a perfect fit, to kind of combine that Villanova connection they have going over there in New York right now. Anyway, so I'm going to offer up Mikal Bridges now, or I'm going to try to get Mikal Bridges, I should say. And what I'm going to offer up is, well, you could do one of two things here. Of course, you could offer Bojan's expiring contract, depending if that's what the Nets would prioritize. But I do feel like there is a possibility that the Nets wouldn't mind getting Julius Randle back in return with some first-round picks, just because the Nets, I think, would want a player that could still help them win because they don't have their draft, future draft picks. So I do believe getting Julius Randle could make some sense. Of course, the Nets, the Nets could also trade Mikal Bridges to the Rockets if that possibility is still on the table and maybe get their picks back. So that could make sense as well. But, of course, they declined at the deadline, so maybe that ship has sailed. But I'm going to try to see if I can give them Julius Randle. Now, they do have a little bit of money they have to give back in return in order to do this. So let's say we took Jalen Wilson off their hands. So Randle for Mikal Bridges is Jalen Wilson, just for salary matching purposes. Then we offer them 24 in this draft. We offer them this top 10 Wizards pick. And then we offer them maybe not the... I don't even think Detroit's pick is actually unprotected next year, by the way. It just says that. But I do believe it's like a very valuable pick right now in 2K just because of how bad they are. But Detroit is usually good in the simulation. So I do believe, I'm pretty sure that Pistons pick has some protections on it. Let me double check because I don't want to just give up a pick if it's unprotected. I'm pretty sure Pistons pick is very protected. Yeah, so this pick really isn't as good as you think. It's like top 13 protected in 2025, top 11 protected in 2026, and like top 9 protected in 2027. And if it doesn't convey by then, it turns into a second. So this pick is not as good as you think. So I'm actually comfortable with sending it in here. And then is that enough to get Mikal Bridges? I'm sure it is. So Randle and 3 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, I actually think is definitely an overpay. It's the 24th pick, this Washington top 10 protected pick, and Mikal Bridges comes to New York. I definitely think we do this. And that is going to be the first trade we do in today's video. So Mikal Bridges is a New York Knick, which feels really good to have him join his Villanova boys with Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo. I don't know how we'll run the rotation just yet, but we will figure it out. So let's go straight to player options at this point. So we'll go straight. I guess we actually still have a draft pick. We didn't trade both our picks in this draft. So let's actually see when we get at 25. So at number 25, we are going to have the... I feel like Dalton Connect is always falls to my lap, but I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take Tristan DeSilva here. Welcome to New York, and that will be a Colorado forward we bring in, so we'll take that. And now we go take a look at who we got in the second round. So Mystery was another guy I would have considered, so I'm kind of glad we got him there. So Tristan DeSilva and Mystery feels good to get out of the draft. OG Anunoby, of course, declines this player option. He was only going to make $19 million, so it makes a ton of sense for him to obviously try to get paid more. Jericho Sims, I'll accept just for depth purposes, and then qualifying offers. Achua is a free agent. There might be some interest in bringing him back, but we'll see. So, of course, we got to start with the OG Anunoby edition. We got to bring him back. Now, the Thunder are trying to steal him away, but I do imagine that he would return a Knick. I think it makes a lot of sense. So, I definitely think he's going to get probably more than he should get. Maybe he gets north of 30 million. Maybe that's a little too expensive, but I think 25 is a happy medium. So, I'm going to offer that, and hopefully he's willing to just accept that. So, yeah, so we're going to get OG Anunoby back, which is awesome. I'm going to wait on Achua for now. Hardenstein is also a big get if we can get him back. So I don't know if we even have his bird rights. We may not. So let's see. Do we have his bird rights? Yeah. So we're going to be able to bring him back, which would be huge. So Jalen Brunson, Miles McBride, DiVincenzo, Shake Milton right now, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and then Josh Hart's listed at power forward right now. Wow. And then Bojan's your 4, and then Mystery Mitch Robinson. So yeah, I think we bring back Hardenstein. No brainer there. He's been phenomenal for this team as well. So we're going to give him, I do believe Hardenstein has probably earned himself kind of what Nurkic and like Robinson have gotten, like maybe around 60 million. I definitely think a team would be willing to pay him that. So I'm going to go ahead and offer that to bring him back to New York so we get him back. I don't know if I'm going to bring back Achua yet. We'll see, but I am going to fix the rotation up a little bit. So Brunson is the point guard. Obviously, that remains, that's going to remain. Miles McBride is the point guard. DiVincenzo's our 2 guard right now. So what we could do is we're probably going to move Josh Hart to shooting guard. I think it makes sense for him to be the shooting guard. And maybe Josh Hart's the guy that comes off the bench again, or maybe it's DiVincenzo, whatever. But, they're going to be in the ignition off the bench. One of those 2 guys. And then we'll play OG at the 4 more than likely because, he goes down quite a bit at the 4. Wow, I did not expect that. So I guess we'll leave him at the 3. Mikal Bridges will, so OG will play power forward for us. I mean, having OG and Mikal Bridges as your perimeter defenders is pretty fantastic, by the way. But yeah, we'll probably do something like that. So that is our offseason. Not anything spectacular. I know the New York Knicks can maybe go more big fish hunting. Achua, I don't know if I really want to bring him back because we're going to have, we have Bojan right now, which is a contract that I might use at the deadline to make an upgrade. But he'd be our backup power forward right now. So yeah, I think I wouldn't mind if Achua came back with his qualifying offer. If he came back with his qualifying offer, that's fine with me. And he does. So we'll take him on $6 million. Jalen Brunson is up. Josh Hart is up. Mikal Bridges is down, and so is OG. Hardenstein is down, and Bojan is down as well. Let's go take a look at this rotation all together and see if we can match any success that we had from last year, but I feel pretty good about what we've done this offseason so far. We didn't mess up how the New York Knicks are going to play. We bring in, get Randall out of here, who was not really part of the playoff run because he was hurt. And then you bring in a guy that, Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart are very familiar with, and that is Mikal Bridges. And I just feel like I feel like Mikal Bridges is going to be a Knick this offseason. We have to cut a couple guys here, so we'll cut those guys, and then let's get looking at the rotation. So, powering is going to land us 9th overall, 4-star defense, which makes a lot of sense. I guess we're going to probably leave it like that. So we're going to leave it at defense. So they want to start Achua, which of course I'm not going to do. So it's going to be OG Anunoby at the 4, and then Mikal Bridges is going to start at the 3 for us. So something like that. So we're going to fix this up in just a tad bit. But yeah, we're going to do something along the lines of that, and then we're going to simulate this season and see how this bad boy is going to go, and then we'll see how this goes. So hopefully a Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Mitch Robinson, DiVincenzo rotation is about to do a lot of damage, and we are back to making a good run in the Eastern Conference. So at the end of year number 1 with this Knicks roster, MVP goes to Jokic, Zachary Richiche as rookie of the year on the Bulls, Russ Westbrook, 6th man, back on the Wizards, which is kind of funny to see. With me, all defensive player, Asar Thompson, most improved, and De'Aaron Fox, clutch player, and Tom Thibodeau, coach of the year. As you guys can see, I decided not to make any moves at the deadline because the team was damn good. 59-23. We actually locked up the first seed in the Eastern Conference as well. So we definitely built off what we wanted to last year. Jalen Brunson is being that guy for us. 35 points per game. His shot tendency was like an 80-something. I pushed that up to a 99. I wanted Jalen Brunson to score the ball as much as possible. And he has definitely done that for us. Now, I will tell you guys, and I said this on my podcast with Eric, I never thought Jalen Brunson would turn into the guy that he is now. It's kind of crazy because I almost forget that he came from Dallas, bro. It's kind of crazy to think that he came from Dallas and has turned into the player that he has, which is wild, man. But hey, the Knicks did a great job in signing him and, seeking him out. But let's go take a look at the player stats. So you had 35 from Jalen Brunson and 20 from Mikal Bridges, 18 from OG and 14.5 from DiVincenzo, 9 from Josh Hart, 9 from Achua, and then 7 and 8 from Hardenstein. 7 and 9 from Mitch Robinson, and then 4 from Miles McBride. So not too shabby. Like I said, I really like this rotation. Of course, I had Bojan's expiring contract, and I was definitely looking at what we could get for him. This expiring $19 million. But man, the team was so good, I just didn't even want to mess that chemistry up. But we'll go ahead. Josh Hart averaged a 9 and 9. Of course, Josh Hart's a madman on the court, just out there running with his. We get Brooklyn in round 1, which is kind of funny. Schroeder, Cameron Thomas, Cameron Johnson, Randall, Claxton, Ben Simmons, they were on Sharp and Noah Clowney. Now, of course, losing to the Nets in round 1 would be a doomsday scenario. I don't expect that to happen, so hopefully it does not. Someone in current round against the Nets, and we are going to beat them in 5. So get out of round 1, and now we're on to round 2 to play the Charlotte Hornets, who beat the Bucks. So the Bucks in 2 years in a row get bounced in round 1. This time, of course, they had no injury problems, so it's just a matter of them being bad, I guess. Philadelphia, Atlanta, on the other side of the bracket, you got OKC, New Orleans, Portland, and Dallas. All right, so let's see if we can get past the Hornets to get to the conference finals this time, hopefully. Obviously, last year, we got close, lost to the Pacers, and we are going to sweep the Hornets, and we are in the Eastern Conference Finals, and now we get to play the 76ers, who, with their cap space, only added Simone Fontecchio, Kevin Porter Jr., Willie Hernan Gomez. Like, this is the team you cooked up, and this is the team that made the conference finals. Yeah, not a great offseason for the 76ers. That doesn't mean they can't beat us, though. They still have Embiid. That's always a problem, but we did beat this team last year, so let's hopefully see if we can beat them again, and we are going to the finals just like that. So year 1, we get to the NBA Finals, and of course, we run into the final boss, that being the Oklahoma City Thunder. Very, very hard to beat, as you guys know. They've added Grayson Allen. This time, they didn't get OG, though. They always get OG in the simulation, so I'm glad we stole him away. But yeah, unfortunately for us, we get the Thunder, so we'll see how this goes. I am going to go ahead and shrink this to an 8-man rotation. Let's just play an 8-man rotation because I feel like we got to do our very best to beat the Thunder here. It's not going to be easy, as we know. So game 1, 1-0. Starts off really good. 41-point win. Brunson 37. Game 2, up 2-0. So far, so good. Took care of both games at home, which is a great start. Game 3, 3-0. Are we going to sweep the Thunder? Oh my goodness. Wow, this team actually just swept the Thunder in year 1. Wow, okay. I will take it, man. I did not expect that. That is phenomenal. It definitely helps they didn't get OG, as they always do. But Brunson, Finals MVP, 34 points and 8 assists. Not bad, man. Not bad. I guess we're looking at going back-to-back now. This is literally how the Thunder video started yesterday. But that was sweat-free. I feel like when I did the Thunder, it was a little bit more of a sweat. But all right, I'll take it. Let's go to the lottery now. And let's see where that Wizards pick ends up that I traded. And then the Pistons pick that I traded. Of course, like I said, it was technically, and did the Pistons make the playoffs? I wasn't even paying attention, but Thunder projected 2 picks in this draft. And then you got Grizzlies #1 odds. Raptors get 1. So let's see. So the Pistons pick ends up at 18. So like I said, it wasn't that great of a pick. So the Pistons always end up being good. So I actually feel fine that we traded that away. And then we traded, what else? The Wizards pick? Where'd that end up? It's 7. So technically that was still wouldn't have conveyed. It would have been, rolled over into next year. And I don't know what the protections are next year, but we'll take a look when we cross that path. Staff signing, Tom Thibodeau just won ourselves a championship. So, of course, we are not going to move on from him. We get to run it back with Mr. Tom Thibodeau. And, yeah, I feel pretty good. So, let's go see. I don't even know if there's going to be a whole lot we need to do this offseason. I didn't know we'd win a championship year 1. I really thought there'd be like a curve where I would, maybe get to the conference finals and lose. But, no, we get it out of the way very quickly, which feels great. But we're going to get our guard guru. Our assistant head coach says no for now. Let's see. Can I get like Brian Keefe to come be my assistant or something? We're going to get Brian Keefe to be our assistant head coach, which feels pretty good. And now we go to draft night. I don't know if we have a pick. I wasn't paying attention, to be honest with you. I was kind of looking at the Wizards and Pistons pick. So we have the 30th pick, which feels good. And we have a couple seconds. So, middle of the second. And then a, second round pick at 30. Very late in the draft. Okay. Do we want to try to move up here? I also sent Tristan Da Silva and Mystery to the G League. So both those guys could be contributors next year. So we might be able to make another move here. But let's just go ahead and draft at 30. And then let's see, what else we're going to do after that. So we get Nikola Durus, which I actually think would be a pretty solid selection here. Wait, did I just load the same draft class 2 years in a row? No, I didn't. Never mind. I was about to say, I thought I loaded the same draft class. I think Nikola is in the 2024 draft class, but whatever. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he backs out of it. I know guys do that. So we got Nikola late in the first round, which feels all right. And then player options, Brunson. Kleins, of course, he's going to be looking for a bigger payday. And qualifying offers, nothing. And then free agency. So, Brunson, $51 million, has more than earned it. Of course, the Rockets are trying to steal him, and I will not allow that to happen. He will re-up with the Knicks here. We're going to keep him around, give him the max that we can, and hopefully he is just going to accept that. No questions asked. So, yeah, he's going to accept that. Bojan, I'm not bringing back. Now, Achua, on the other hand, has actually been really good off the bench for us, so I do believe we have to bring him back. So, we're going to sign Brunson and Achua, bring those guys back. And now it's time to figure out, do we need to make any other moves? Part of me says no, but I also don't want to just sit here and do nothing all video. But let's see how much Mystery and Da Silva progress, and I guess that's kind of what I'll base it off of. So I don't think I'm signing a free. Maybe I should. Wait, am I going to trade Miles McBride this offseason? He only averaged 4 points last year. Just in case, I'll sign an Alvarado. Just in case, I'll sign an Alvarado to a 1-year deal, just to be safe. But yeah, that's about all we're going to do. So let's go to player progression and let's see how much Da Silva and Mystery progress. And that'll kind of maybe influence what I do. So, Mystery's up to a 77 and Da Silva's up to a 76. I don't know if that really changes much for me. Because right now, if we ran a diamond rotation, it would be Miles McBride, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo. We don't have a backup 3 technically, but Mikal Bridges, OG Achua, and then Hartenstein, Mitch Robinson. So yeah, I don't know if that would change a whole lot. But we still have the ammunition to eventually make a bigger trade if we truly wanted to. Not that I feel like we need to. Maybe if there was one position I would upgrade, it's maybe the center spot. So maybe if like a center ever became available, that would just be like too, good to pass up on. And that'd be like a perfect fit. Although I think Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein do exactly what we need them to do. So it may not be necessary to, really upgrade anything. But like I said, at the same time, I don't want to just sit here and do absolutely nothing. I feel like I've done nothing in this video other than trade for Mikal. Of course, we brought back Hartenstein and stuff too. But let's take a look at the rotation and let's see if anything's changed. So, Power Rankings is going to let us 8th overall. Proficiency is still 4-star at defense. So, we got Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Robinson. So, same starting 5 with DiVincenzo off the bench, Hartenstein, Achua, and Miles McBride if we ran a 9-man rotation, which we will do. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead, summate this season. If there's one position that I think I would upgrade, it would be the center position. So, I guess we maybe take a look at that at the deadline if that's available to us. But other than that, you'll probably just see me once again, unless if we fall off in the regular season here, you'll probably just see me once again in the playoffs with the same team because we did so damn good in the playoffs last year, but I also don't want to stay complacent. So it's definitely a battle I'm fighting here. So we are still at the trade deadline as we are 37-13 on the season so far. So things once again are going extremely well. So there's no need to make a trade if we don't want to, but there's 2 guys that I would trade for at this moment if I want to do so. For some reason, it says we're rebuilding. Of course, we're contending. We just won a championship. But we have Anthony Davis as an option. 32 years old. Bringing him in to be our starting center would be kind of crazy. So definitely something I'm interested in. And then the other center that I kind of like the idea of is Miami's Bam Adebayo at 28 years old. Would be in the midst of his prime, 88 overall. So who would I rather have is the question. I don't know who's locked up longer, so let's take a look at that, I guess. But, you know, Miami's Bam Adebayo would be kind of a home run, I feel like. It would just, like, strengthen the roster even more. So 5 years left of his contract, 19-11, 2 blocks. We know how good Bam Adebayo could be defensively. And then Anthony Davis, who is a lot older, has, let's see, how much years left on his contract. He has 4 years with a player option, 19 and 10. I feel like Anthony Davis would probably be a trap at this point, being 32 years old. So for me at the trade deadline, it's all or nothing on Bam Adebayo. If we can't get Bam, then I'm moving on. Jimmy Butler, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, but I do think Jimmy Butler to New York could make some sense as well, just because the Tom Thibodeau connection is there. And who knows what Miami does this offseason. It sounds like Miami and Jimmy Butler are at a standstill with this contract. So does that happen? I don't know. But yeah, we're going to see if it makes sense to trade for Bam. I don't even know if we're going to be able to do so, but I'm going to take a look at it. So we're going to start with Hartenstein's salary because he makes a little bit more than Mitchell Robinson. So Hartenstein is going to be thrown in here. We need $15 more. I guess that would probably require Achua's money, unfortunately. So I'm going to offer Achua, and then we're probably going to need a little bit more money in here. And that might end up being Miles McBride, which would really suck to move him. But man, if we get Bam Adebayo, I just feel like we'd be unstoppable. So I'm going to offer up Miles McBride, and let's see if they have a couple. So they have a bunch of minimums they could offer my way, which is nice because I want to do this. All right, so Edmund Sumner, but that's still not enough money. So Hartenstein, Achua, and then Miles McBride, it's not enough money. So do we have anybody that's making more than Miles McBride? Not really. The only other guy that's making more, I guess it would be like if we threw Miles McBride and maybe Mystery or Alvarado in here. Or no, we want to keep Alvarado if we're going to throw him out. I guess it would be Mystery, who's making, let's see, can we do this? Yes, okay, so we could do this technically. So it's Hardenstein, Achua, Miles McBride, and Mystery for a bunch of minimums back in Bam Adebayo. So do I want to do this? So we give up 3 players in our rotation depth-wise, but we do have like De Silva who could step up as the back of 4. And then we have our pick unprotected, and then which has no value whatsoever. And then we have our other pick unprotected as well. If they don't want to do this, I walk away feeling okay. Like, I'm fine with just running it back. But man, if we can get Bam Adebayo on this team, that'd be pretty nasty. So let's see if we could do this. I'm going to offer it up. If they say no, no big deal. They don't agree. You know what? That's fine. Maybe I shouldn't have done it anyway. We're going to stick with what we got. Things are going well anyway right now. 37-13. Let's just stick with what we got. Maybe we revisit the Bam trade if we don't win a championship. But for now, I'm actually more than okay with them declining that because maybe that would have been a mistake. This year, Luka wins MVP. It would be really cool at one point to see Jalen Brunson win this award. It looks like he was pretty close to getting there, but unfortunately did go to Luka. Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year. Nicola's your 6th man. Wembanyama Defensive Player. So the Thunder have had a Nikola Topic, so that could be interesting going forward. But Thunder, of course, very good. Did I just see they hired Billy Donovan back? Brunson makes it all be a second team, 35 once again. Which feels good. Or wait, did he? I thought he averaged more. No, 28 last year. For some reason, I thought he averaged more than that last year. Interesting. Oh well, let's go take a look at the player stats. Unless if I'm looking at the wrong year, which is possible. But 35 points per game, 21 from Mikal, and then 16 from OG Nobi, 15 from DiVincenzo, 8 from Achua, 7 from Josh Hart, and 7 from Hartenstein. As you guys know, we were very close to pulling the trigger on a Bam Adebayo trade. It did not happen. So we're gonna just see how these playoffs go. Now we get the Boston Celtics. We have Peyton Pritchard. They lost Drew Holiday, no, he's off the bench now, so Pritchard's starting now. This is an 8th-seeded Boston team that definitely could give us problems, so I do have a little bit of a worry here, but hopefully we don't lose to them. So in current round, we are down 2-1. So yeah, getting Boston round 1 doesn't feel good. You know, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're usually pretty good in the simulation, so I definitely think it's possible here that we get bounced in round 1 here, which would really, really suck. But maybe that gives me all the more reason to go pull the trigger on the Bam Adebayo trade. Right now, we're down 3-1, though, as the 1st seed. Feels really horrendous. But let's go 8-man rotation and see if we can come down from 3-1 here. Maybe we can, and maybe it's not all over yet with, but let's see. So we do take the lead at the end. Now, do we keep it? We do. So 121 and 127. Brunson drops 47 in that effort. Now we have to go to TD Garden and see if we can repeat the same thing here to force a game 7. We have the leader right now. Can we keep it is the question, and it's going to be a close one, and we are going to go home in round 1. So that really sucks. Really unfortunate. Would have loved to have, you know, advanced to try to go win back-to-back championships, but Thunder go on to win it all. All right. I do think I'm going to try to pull the trade for Bam Adebayo this offseason now. So let's go take a look at the lottery. So Rockets get 1, Magic get 2 via Phoenix. Very interesting. And that Washington pick ends up being number 9. I don't know what Washington's protections are on that pick at this point. Since it's number 9, I'm not going to care that much. You know, it's whatever. Staff signing, I am going to keep Tom Thibodeau. You know, once again, still good. Unless if he retired. He might have retired. Let's go take a look if he did. He is older. He is retiring. So Tom Thibodeau is gone. He's going to retire. You know, now he got a championship. Respect. Okay, so we got to get a head coach here. I do like the idea of Nick Nurse if he would sign. I don't know if he will, but we're going to offer Nick Nurse a contract. What else do we got? Nick Nurse is an offer. Tyronn Lue, of course, is always someone I like to get. Mike Malone, who was really pissed at the press conference the other day. We could try to go get him. So let's see. Willie Green, Chris Finch, Nick Nurse. What else? Quinn Snyder. Chris Finch would be fun. Who actually has a defensive system already. You know, let me get Chris Finch. Let's see if we can get Chris Finch. So Tyronn Lue is who we'll get, which feels good. So Tyronn Lue is our head coach. And then let's go take a look at post-defensive coach. We'll grab Mr. Carney. All right. So no, always decline for Keefe. You know, it's kind of dumb because you decline it. I don't think this works no matter what. I think Keefe is still going to be gone. So yeah, even if you decline someone trying to hire your coach, like it doesn't matter. They're going to be gone anyway. I'm going to get Murray Stevens to be our assistant, and that will be our coaching staff. Okay. Once again, like I mentioned, I am going to try a BAM trade. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Might have to wait till after the draft because I might not have enough salaries, but I'm going to try. So Bam Adebayo for Hartenstein's contract, Achua's contract, and then they need literally need 48 more K. Nikola Darusic, 29. I'll throw you 27, and I'll also throw you 20-30. This is all for Bam Adebayo. I would do this in a heartbeat. And they agree. We gave Bam Adebayo. That was a lot easier than it was earlier. So we gave Bam Adebayo. Gives us a imagine the defensive lineup around Brunson, though. Bam Adebayo, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Like, that is nasty defensively. That's disgusting. Yeah, I feel good. That's the final trade we're doing. Tristan DeSilva is going to be back. Qualifying offers. Mystery is a free agent. Might have to bring him back now. And then free agency, we have Mikal Bridges, who we're bringing back, of course, as well. So let's re-sign Mikal. And that will be our main priority. So get Mikal Bridges back. W. And then we didn't even trade Miles McBride, I don't think. We kept Miles McBride out of it. So we get to keep him for another season, which is great. So Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Brunson, Miles McBride, Mikal Bridges, OG, Tristan DeSilva, and then Robinson and Bam Adebayo. So I guess the only thing we could truly use is a forward. Let's go see who that could be. We got Sam Hauser, got Caleb Martin, Dorian Finney-Smith, Najee Marshall. Give me Sam Hauser, I guess. We'll go Sam Hauser, and that will be probably our offseason. So is it great? No, but man, I cannot wait to see. Man, I really wish Tom Thibodeau coach for one more year because he is a defensive coach. And I feel like the defensive proficiency might have gone up like crazy now that we have added Bam to this rotation. But it is what it is. He's gone now. And we got one more final season in us. We just got bounced around one from the Celtics. I think adding Bam to this equation is going to stop that. So no matter what, since we did get a championship out of the way already, this will be the final season. Power is going to let us 8th overall. Let's see. So pace to pace is 4-star. Defense is only 4-star. But just look at the proficiency, man. I imagine if we had Tom Thibodeau, that might be a 4.5. But I guess we'll leave it at pace and space for now since it is still a 4-star no matter what. So Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal, OG, Bam Adebayo, Mitch Robinson, DiVincenzo, Mystery, and Miles McBride. And then we're going to run a 9-man rotation. So Mystery is probably not necessary. Or not. Mystery is probably not as necessary since we do have Mitch Robinson playing. I'm going to give DeSilva those minutes. We'll give Miles McBride 15, or 18 rather, and then we'll give DeSilva 15. So we'll see how this season goes. Hopefully this season goes as expected. We got one more final run in us, and maybe we can make another run as we get off to an 0-5 start. Not great. Maybe Bam Adebayo has messed up all the chemistry, but I think it was worth the risk. Hopefully we still make the playoffs, because that'd be kind of crazy if we didn't. So this season doesn't go as well as previous past. 2K is an interesting game because you could add someone like Bam Adebayo and it just makes your team worse. Apparently, Brunson's had a really good season. But yeah, 5th in the East this year. For the longest time, we were fighting for the play-in, which was kind of unfortunate. But yeah, you can't convince me that 2K is like not like a chemistry game. I feel like if things aren't like all aligned, then, you know, if you bring in like a star that doesn't, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, this team was a lot worse this season. Really disappointed in that. But hopefully that doesn't reflect in the playoffs. I do believe adding Bam Adebayo would make this team absolutely insane defensively, but I guess 2K doesn't necessarily agree with that. I do believe there's a chance we get bounced in round 1 here just based off how the season didn't go for us very well. But we do get Chicago in round 1 regardless, so hopefully we beat them at some of the current round, and we are going to fit in an even series with them. So we got a huge Game 5 ahead of us. Let's see if we can come out and win it. So we're going to go Simcast Game 5 in Chicago. We got off to a fiery start here. We have the first and second quarter lead. Actually, they take the second quarter lead, so I spoke too soon. And we are going to get eliminated, or not eliminated, but we do lose game 5. Now it's time for game 6 to see if we can even this series up to go to a game 7. And let's see. So let's see if we could do just that. So it looks good so far, but doesn't mean we can't blow the lead. So we are going to force a game 7 back to Chicago, which is good. And now it's time for a very, very important game 7. So game 7 in Chicago. Would obviously love to get out of round 1 here and not get bounced in round 1 in this video. So far it's looking pretty good. As long as we don't blow the lead, I think we're going to the second round. So we are going to go to round 2. 134 to 112, 35 from Bam. Love to see it. And now we get the 8th seed Raptors. Okay, so quickly, RJ, Cooper Flag, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. So yeah, the Raptors have an interesting team, especially after adding Cooper Flag to this equation. Somebody come around against them, and we are going to sweep them. So we're back in the conference finals despite a very poor regular season. And now we get the Cavaliers. So of course, this team matched up years ago, and the Knicks smoked them. So hopefully we can do that again. Going to come around, and we have an even series on our hands. All right, so huge game 5 in Cleveland. So let's see if we can come out and win it. Game 5 in Cleveland. Let's see if we can win this one and take the 3-2 lead. That would be huge. And so far, we do have the lead right now, and it looks like we're starting to run away with it. We are going to win game 5, so we bring them back to Madison Square Garden for game 6 to see if we can close them out here and not worry about a game 7. So Cleveland is giving us a really good fight here. We do take the lead at the end, and we are going to run away with it. Just like that, we are back in the NBA Finals. So despite a very bad regular season and almost looking like we're going to get bounced in round 1, we do make it back to the finals, and we run it into the Spurs, who have added Cade with Victor Wembanyama, which is a really good addition to this team. So they also have John Collins, Malachi Branham, Montez Bazelis, Reed Shepard. Game 1, 1-0 goes to us by 1 point. I did not mean to click Simcast Live. I hate it when I do that. I don't ever use this feature. So let's get out of Simcast Live for a second. All right, so let's sim game 2. Let's see if we can beat them here. So they even it up. Game 3 is a huge one. They're up 2-1. And we even it up. Okay, so far we've had 2 series where this goes at least 6 as it starts off 2-2. But now we're in San Antonio for game 5. If we can win here, bring them back to Madison Square Garden. We had the lead for a second, and we are going to beat them by 1 point. And now it's time for game 6 to see if we can close the Spurs team out to win our second championship of the video. They lose the first quarter by a huge margin, and it looks like we got this one in the bag. So we are going to end this video with another championship. 106 to 135. Jalen Brunson, or no, this time it's Bam Adebayo wins Finals MVP, and that is a beautiful way to end this one. So I felt like Bam Adebayo for a second ruined everything we had going on, but at the end of the day, we get a championship, and we got to be happy with that ending. So 2 in this video, I'll take it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, tomorrow we got the Nuggets, and then we continue the prospect draft lottery rebuilds after that. Of course, once we get done with the lottery rebuilds, it's all about this offseason, trades, free agency, draft pick, or draft pick trades, whatever it may be. You guys know I will bring you content all about it, and I think this offseason could be a huge one. So make sure you are subscribed for all that. But for now, this is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.